we will be streaming this to the VL, just so you all are aware.
Hey, Jeremy, how are you doing, buddy?
I'm okay. I don't know who said that.
It was your favorite, Hutch.
Oh, hi, Hutch.
Daddy Hutch.
I heard the voice of an angel, but did not see her face yet. There she is.
Cool. Think we can be about ready to start. Just so everybody is aware, 10 minutes per juror. I'll use the clock feature that we have here to keep track of the 10 minutes. If you're in the final two, you can be on cam. And if you are the juror that is actively asking questions, you can be on cam. Otherwise, we'll all stay off cam. Okay?
Question, can you hear me okay?
So, I mean, not great, but I guess okay would be the way of putting it. Yes.
I'm driving. I've got to get some stuff to take back to the hospital, so bear with me until I get to my grandma's house.
Gotcha. Okay. Um, cool. I think we're okay for now. Hopefully people show up later if they're not here now. I don't even know who's not here. So hide non-video participants. Hey Lawrence, could you go off camera for the time being? Thank you.
Who?
You'll be the first one to come back on camera here in a moment. But because we don't have Linny. Whose iPhone? Wait, is it Haley? Yeah, it's Haley. Okay. We will get started then. I'll introduce what's going on and it'll be fun. Welcome to the finale of Power Grab Season 7, Science versus Faith. We are here with our final two, Eric and Abby. One of you, by the end of tonight, will become the 7th winner of this game. They have both already recorded their opening speeches. Each juror will be given 10 minutes, up to 10 minutes to ask questions. At the end of that, we will randomize an order for each of you to give an up to 10-minute closing speech, and then everybody will vote and we'll reveal the votes. That is what we are here to do. Any questions from either of you two? All right, I will go off camera, and Lawrence, you will go first. You may come on camera.
Uh, People under against pattern of questions. So Abby and Eric pick a number between 1 and 30.
For me, you were a little broken up. Are you asking us to pick a number 1 through 30?
Yes.
I will pick 14.
Um, Abby has to pick a number between 1 and 30.
I will pick 13 just because that's my lucky number.
Okay. So, um, the woman term the title based off the numbers. So the person I'll be asking questions to is Eric. That's my favorite number. Okay, so Eric, um, explain to me what is your best move, and please do not use any of this word, or else I will change my mind and I'll vote for you and vote for the other person. Okay, so do not use the word money for the other person, and to see how they just complete language and even there you go.
I am I don't know if it's just me, but I only heard that I can't say the $ word. I don't know what the other words you said.
Yes, that's the rule for my jury like answer. Cannot say the downside. But
Okay. Okay. Um, the biggest move that I made. Oh no, wrong page. The biggest move that I made this season has to be um in phase one. Yeah, I'm gonna say in phase one, the vote where Haley went home. Um, that round and a little bit into the Gluck round as well, I had noticed that Haley was extremely connected on the cast. She was in the Power Rangers Alliance, the side pieces, but she also had been offered, from what I know, the Girls Alliance. She was in an alliance with Brandon and Jenny. She had lots of deals going on with a lot of people, and I was happy to know that all of that was happening, but in my brain, I was like, okay, well, she's going to be here for the long run because there's nobody here who has any reason to take her out. Um, and the round that she left, I said to myself, okay, well, if I want to have a chance of people targeting her over me, I need to start layering in some information. Like, why would Gluck have told her that he wanted her to vote him if he could just buy the Aegis with all his money? So sorry. With all his $word. Um, and like, why would he want her to do that and saying things like that um, about Haley? And that ultimately ended up with Hutch saying, hey, well, why don't we vote her out? And Hutch was one of the few people who was not as connected to her. So I took that opportunity and I said, yeah, this is our opportunity to remove Haley from the game so that I could be in the central position from that point onwards.
Okay, so that's my last question. It's gonna be a nice question. So if you were to rate uh everybody if you were to rate my gameplay from 1 through 10, what would you rate it? I'll be honest about it.
Yeah, I think I would rate it somewhere around a 3 or a 4. I think you were definitely active enough for the Power Rangers Alliance to come together and say, hey, maybe we shouldn't vote for him. Maybe we should vote for someone like Brandon. But I think it was still a little bit. It was inactive enough where people made note of it. Um, Whereas, and I think that's where it fell off a little bit. And I think that's where people were more comfortable voting for you, especially in the revote, over someone like Abby or Stoner, who were talking with people more. But I think your move to just say, hey, I'm voting Brandon, that's what it is, that definitely helped that round. And that's what made that round a tie. That made me comfortable voting for Brandon that round. That made, Stoner, Abby, Haley also comfortable doing that, or at least voting differently. That made people comfortable voting for Abby. So I think that helped, but I don't think it was obviously it wasn't enough to keep you in the game. So I would rate it around a 3 or a 4.
Uh, uh, so my favorite question I always ask the jury for ID, but no, I'm talking. It's you were to describe yourself uh, during during the entirety of the whole game. What would you describe yourself as? It's just, but it's not a question for your arc.
Um, I would say flexible. That's my word.
My God. You gotta give me a reason why.
Reason why, um, early on in the game, I told myself I can make it to the end. I have the tools necessary to make it to the end as long as I'm flexible and dependable. Once I realized that, around the time that Hutch left, that people were not depending on me as much, I had to lean completely into that flexible side of my game and reach out to people like Chase and choose a different strategy, a different path forward. So that the flexibility of my game was the through line that I saw.
Okay, thank you very much. Uh, uh, Eric did a very nice job persuading me not to change what I'm officially attending for. So I thank Eric for doing a very nice job versus jury questions. So I thank him. Um, and I'm very impressed by Eric. Uh, during jury questions because I was bamboozled. I didn't really like his jury speech. Michael, I probably most of the jury didn't like the jury speech anyway. But he did a pretty good job answering the questions. So I think that, and I also want to thank the host for giving me a second chance to play this game. So I pretty much enjoyed it more so than the pursuit of jury questions. So I'm done. And thank you again, Eric, for doing the best ability to answer the questions as, as beautifully as you could. So thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Lawrence. And we're very happy we had you back. With that, Lawrence, you may go off camera. And who's next? Haley, you may come on camera.
All right, so first off, I would like to say, congratulations to you too. So I guess second thing, Eric, your move when you said for me to go home, that was Hutch's move, obviously. You were involved, but it was his move. It wasn't like you came up with the plan. Second thing, I tried not to throw you under the bus, so I told everyone that Gluck told me that he was going home to try to save you, but whatever. Abby, you're the one I basically want to hear from. I just want to hear your strategic moves and basically your gameplay.
Didn't have a strategy. I, especially with round two, like when Lawrence went, my name being thrown up, I just kind of went into fight or flight mode. So I partnered up with, the Power Rangers. We started that, and that was a solid group because I knew that everybody was connected with other people to get information from other sides of our group. I know you had told me that there was a girls' alliance, but I was never added to it. So I know that you got information from there that you brought back to us, which was super helpful. So I just aligned myself with people that I knew were aligned with other people on the other side that would help give me information or tell me if my name was being thrown up. Like Amy. Amy always was really amazing with giving me information that not everybody else was. And then I managed my money really well. I only bought the Aegis once. So I walked into phase 3 with $30. And basically, I think the smartest thing that I did was aligning myself with Brandon after we continuously went after each other time and time again. And so aligning myself with him and getting myself further into the game, especially phase 2, was one of the smarter decisions I made, aside from all the bigger groups, like the Daddy Issues group that I was in, the Side Pieces, the Cuties. I aligned myself with a lot of different alliances to basically just get information and managed to, even though my name was thrown up a lot in phase 1, I managed to keep my threat level down enough to where people would still keep me. So yeah.
Well, clearly you guys played a lot better games than I did, so congratulations. And I'm short, so I'm done.
Thank you.
All right. On that note, Jenny, you may come on camera.
Hey guys, I was just going to start by saying congratulations to making it here because this was a hard game. Proud of both of you.
I'm sorry I went out of order. Amy, you can come on camera. I'm sorry. That was my bad. I didn't realize Amy was here. Sorry, Amy. Your
That's
10
okay.
minutes start now.
I'm in bed anyway because I'm just trying to transition from Germany. Congratulations, you two. So for me, I think games are completely a big part of it is being social. So I want to know, especially this game, because there's no competitions or anything like that. So I want to know from each of you what you learned about me in this game. If this is all about being social. I know I went out kind of early, but we'll start with you, Eric, and then Abby.
Yeah, I think one of the big things that we connected on really early on was, you're in the military. My family has a lot of military background. They're basically all in the Coast Guard, if you count that as military. I know some people don't. And so we got to talk about the horror stories, and I was completely into them, like that guy having his hand ripped off his arm. We got to talk about, your job working as a nurse, especially it's crazy that you worked at the hospital that I happened to go to one time for having a nanny's elbow or whatever it's called. And we also have a fear of self-driving cars. And I agree, you shouldn't let your husband use that feature while you're in the car with him.
I know we connected right off the bat with I know I was telling you that I was in school for forensic psychology and you told me that you were in court with your students. So I definitely felt drawn to you with that because I don't hear of a lot of people in the field that I'm going to. So it was just really cool that I just switched my major and then got to meet you. And I was like, oh, cool. Maybe she can help me get that degree because homegirl over here do be struggling a little bit, but I thought that was really cool. And then, you ended up going to Germany. So we didn't get a lot of time to talk just between my work schedule. I didn't get to really know you on a personal level. And I know me and Eric had actually talked about that on our Fallen Comrades that we did, that I wish that with our schedules and you being in Germany, like I wish that I would have had more of a chance to get to know you on a personal level because I loved getting to know you the first few days when you were still in the States and our schedules didn't conflict. So
Okay, that is all I have, and I will turn it over to whoever's next.
All right. Now, Jenny, you may come on.
Oh, you're totally good. Yeah, congratulations on making it. One of the questions I had was going to be very similar to Amy's and ask, what you kind of remembered about one thing that stuck out about me. That'll be my first really quick question. It doesn't have to be long. It can even be where I'm from, doesn't matter. I'll start with Abby.
So sorry. Can we start with Eric as I am trying to text my grandmother's doctor back. She's in the hospital. That's the only reason I'm driving. So give me like 2 seconds. I'm so sorry.
No problem at all. Okay.
I know one of the conversations that stuck out to me from us was us talking about Florida and where we would want to live if we lived in Florida. And you said you wanted to live in the boonies. And that's whenever I see your face, I see boonies like right next to your head. So that's what stuck out to me.
No, good. And if Abby can't get on, I was going to say, I'm very proud of you, Eric, too. And I was going to ask Abby this question as well, but I can wait for her because I know you didn't know Lost well. So I'm very proud of you for studying. It sounds like you did for 4 days straight. So that was impressive. And while we're waiting for Abby, I'll just go through all 3 questions and then you can do my last question. If you were not at Final 2, who do you think played a good enough game. Do not pick me, please. But out of everybody else that should be sitting up here if you didn't make it.
I think 100% I have to say Stoner. And that's simply due to the fact that, people know, at least I knew his reputation coming in here. I know he's a really good player. And he was still able in phase two to do mostly whatever he wanted. And the fact that he made it to final three is testament to that. And that is why I took him out at final three.
Makes sense.
Okay, so sorry.
No, you're fine.
I specifically remember us talking. You were telling me about how your friend has twins and they're polar opposites like mine, and that you nanny for 3 kids, and that I had always wanted to be a nanny, but I ended up getting pregnant and did not get that. But I remember that. And so I thought that was really cool. And then I did not hear your second question.
Oh, no, you're good. And then I was going to ask you, how well did you know Lost? This is a random-
I didn't. I actually, I didn't know Lost, but I've started watching it now, and I really love it. It is such a good show, and I'm so glad that I've started watching it. I'm like halfway through season 1 now,
Awesome.
and I've been texting my prod chat like, what is this? Why is this happening? What's going on?
It's awesome. You're going to be addicted. And then my last question was, if you did not make final three, or two, excuse me, so I'm still sick, who do you think would have been in a deserving position to be in place of you? I'm
kind of going to piggyback off of Eric. I do think, obviously, Stoner, he was my ride or die since day one. We all know that. Or Brandon, just because we grew close there in phase 2, and I know he wanted to sit in final 2 so bad, and he loves the show, and I know that he would have apps. I genuinely would like to see him do the quiz just for shits and giggles to know how well he does on it, because there's some things that he would say to me and I'm just like, how do you know this? Like, I haven't even watched it, and the fact that he remembers all of that just blew my mind. So probably Stoner or Brandon for sure.
Awesome. Well, thank you. Congratulations and good luck to both of you.
All right. With that, who's next? Hutch. Hutch, it's your turn. Sorry.
What's up, y'all? How you doing? All
Doing
right.
pretty
So
well.
first of all, Eric, I want to say you look fantastic, dude. Thank you so much for dressing up, dude. Just want to say that first of all. Congratulations, you both played a fantastic game. I love that one. I would say that I underestimated the social aspect of this game coming in, and you guys both absolutely killed that. I think you both played a super flexible game where you were both able to adapt and move in between pieces. But the fact that you both played such a similar game makes it hard to distinguish between the two right now. So I guess I'm asking right now, like, tell me what you did specifically that can separate yourself from the other person, not because you guys were so closely aligned, but just because you guys kind of played the game together. So what was the most aggressive and bold decision that you made that you feel like you can stand on the best, I guess?
I could start. First, thank you for the compliment. I was trying to give a little bit of Jack Shepherd energy with this outfit, so I hope that came across. I don't know if it did. But yeah, I think the big separation between our games, because in the late game we both have that moment where we reach out to somebody we hadn't talked to a lot and we work closely with them and have that relationship. I can definitely see some similarities there. In phase 1, however, the difference between our games was I was never really in trouble. I was working on the balancing act of teeter-tottering between the Live Together Die Alone Alliance and the Power Rangers Alliance, and I was able to gather a lot more information from both sides, and I always knew what was going to happen with every single vote, whereas I don't think Abby can say the same. And then in phase two, my name was only counted one time. So I think I maintained, for the most part, that safety through the rest of the game. So I think our starts are where it really differs.
I'm so
Thank you.
sorry. You will have to repeat that. I had to go to her neighbor's house to get her house key. I'm so sorry.
No, you're good. Okay, so what I was saying is you guys both played a very similar game where you both were flexible, both gathered information. I just asking what was your most, like standalone and impressive move that you can hang your hat on type of thing. What was the most out there move?
Just I would have to say the Brandon move. Because although that one sucked, I knew that he was the biggest threat out of the four of us left. So I knew that if I gave him money for the Aegis and he stayed, that the likelihood of me being able to take Stoner to final two, which I had originally planned, was not going to happen because he would have absolutely, like I said a few minutes ago, he would have demolished me in the quiz. So definitely not giving him the Aegis money to ideally to ensure that he went home, because I knew that Eric would probably get it.
Okay. Okay, so how would you most differentiate your game from Eric's game? Since you both kind of played that flexible middle game, like how would you most separate? How would you say that your flexibility is stronger than his flexibility, I guess?
I would say to a degree that I didn't necessarily have flexibility. Like in a sense I did, but at the same time I didn't, because I immediately aligned myself with people that I knew would kind of not take me, but like help me get further. So I wasn't necessarily flexible as in with the people that I worked with. Everybody that I worked with, I had relationships with kind of off the bat. The only one that I didn't have a relationship with right off the bat was Brandon. I mean, we were kind of after each other from the get-go. We voted each other consistently day after day for the first few days. So I'm also out of breath. I'm so sorry. I'm a hot mess tonight. So I would definitely say that I aligned myself with people that I had kind of been working with from the get-go, and at least had a good social game with. And then like by the point of me working with Brandon, that was kind of like I knew that I needed to kind of reevaluate just a little bit, because my name had been thrown up so many different times, especially by him. So I kind of wanted to fix that to where maybe my name didn't get thrown up as much as it had been, if that makes sense.
Okay, I gotcha. Okay, well, that's all I have, y'all. Thank you so much. You both played a hell of a game, and congratulations both you two for final two.
All right. Kristen, I believe you are next.
Hello, everyone. How are you guys doing? Halfway through, shake some nerves out. You guys are doing great. So I'm gonna kind of go about this a little bit differently than everybody else has come before me and may continue after me. But I took notes from your guys' opening statements and listening to the jury roundtable because I was not able to attend that last night. So Abby, I'm gonna start with you if you're okay. If not, I can start with Eric.
Yeah, no, I'm good.
Okay. So Abby, like the first point that you brought up to me that I wanted to kind of get my head wrapped around is you mentioned that you were consistently brought up throughout the whole game and you had to claw your way to get to where you are.
Yeah.
You were never brought up by anybody but Brandon. So I need some clarification on that, because while people may have noticed that you and Stoner were a duo or this, that, and the other, your name was never brought up by anyone except for Brandon.
I know that there were a few different times, aside from the night that me and Stoner tied with Lawrence. I know that there were a few different times that there were a few people that had came to me and said that my name had been brought up.
I know there was a couple times that Amy had told me that my name had been brought up. And then in just a few different alliance chats, I don't remember specific names right now just because I can't go back and look. There had been a few other times that people had came to me and told me that my name was being tossed around throughout phase 1.
No, and I get that. And I mean, also in a game of deception, anybody could say that to make somebody paranoid and move on from that. But I just wanted to let you know from my end and
Yeah.
from people that I talked to, your name was not brought up at all, except for by Brandon.
Okay.
Next point I wanted to get to was you being Bernard. Haha, you got me. But you made a point about Bernard that you would have to trade in your power. That was inaccurate completely because that was not true whatsoever. And I know what production was sent to you about Bernard and about your extra power because in my power they told me what you were told with Bernard. So I just want to know why you
I wasn't. So when I got the card with it being bonus, it did not. I don't know what Bernard was. It said I can choose to reveal it, but I double checked with Prod, and because I wanted to know like what I could know about it, and if I would have had chosen to reveal anything about my character, I would not have been able to be Juliet anymore and use that L5 power.
So, and that might have just been a miscommunication on like between you and production, but I like knowing what Bernard was to Rose and knowing what was sent to you and what was that, like your power would have never been turned in. You wouldn't have not been Juliet anymore. So I just wanted to kind of get your thoughts on that.
Yeah, I mean, it must have been a miscommunication because from the way I took it, if I were to have chosen to reveal anything about Bernard, then Juliet would have been no more. And that's just the way that I took it because they had to be very careful with what they could tell me, just that way it didn't reveal too much. But I didn't want to risk anything in case I needed that L5 power for any given reason because it was a very big voting power, and if I needed it, I wanted to have it there, and so I didn't want to do anything to risk getting rid of it. From the way that it was explained to me, that's the assumption that I had, is that if I knew anything about Bernard, bye bye Juliet, and that was just a risk that I wasn't necessarily willing to take. If I feel like it would have been different if there hadn't been a tie vote where I had been brought up and people weren't coming to me and telling me, regardless if my name was actually being thrown around, if people wouldn't have came to me and told me that, it might have been a little bit different. But I mean, right off the bat, having votes against you, like I just was trying to do what I could to ensure my safety if need be.
Yep, nope, totally got it. So then the other thing I wanted to bring up is you brought up the Girls Alliance, and that you weren't aware of anything about that. When you and I were talking, you were the first one to bring up the masculinity to me, in talks of that.
Yes.
And so for you to say you weren't aware of it, that's where I'm confused because like you were the one to bring that up, and then to say you weren't in the Girls Alliance when there was never a Girls Alliance. So I just need to understand kind of where your rationale behind all that is.
So, and I may have just been like, I may not have like portrayed it well, but I was the one to bring up the masculinity thing to you. For the main reason being, one, I was trying to defer because you were talking about a bigger alliance that I was a part of, but I obviously didn't want you to know that I was a part of it. So I did throw that out there, partially too because of the Bernard thing. I didn't want it to somehow be known that I was, because only one other person knew, and that was Stoner. Stoner knew that I was Bernard. And so I brought that up. And then I know Haley had mentioned to me first that you had mentioned an All Girls Alliance chat. Hutch had brought it up to me that there was an All Girls Alliance chat, but I just wasn't a part of it. And which was fine. And then at one point on our first phone call, I remember us talking about something to do with a Girls Alliance chat, and nothing ever came of it. So that's kind of where I was coming from with that. Not saying that there was an actual Girls Alliance chat, because I don't know. I'm just going off of what people had told me. So that was kind of where I was coming from with that if there was one, I wasn't a part of it at all.
Yeah, sure. And also just because I like, obviously we're on time crunch, and just to save face, I've told the truth the entire game. There was no Girls Alliance, so we're gonna just so you have
Yeah.
that peace of mind moving forward.
Okay.
And then my last thing I want to do, and if you can just do it briefly, because I do want to get to Eric. In this game with so many variants, right? There's powers, there's the Aegis, there's so many other things. Social game is more important than really anything in this.
Yeah.
So obviously for me, especially, and I don't know for others, I mean, I've heard from others as well, you really didn't have a social game when it didn't benefit you. Like if you're going to send people to jury and everyone's on jury and you just refuse to speak to them, how do you get around that as far as social?
I feel like, and honestly, this might just be me, but I feel like the only people that I didn't really get to maintain a great social connection with was you and Jenny. And that is partially my doing just because my work schedule and then going out of town with Knox and stuff was a little chaotic, and being sick on top of it. I just had a really hard time with it. But I feel like aside from you two, I tried to maintain a social relationship with those who actually would give back. I know that was mine and Brandon's issue at first, is that like we weren't talking. And once we did, we had a great social game, and vice versa. So I don't necessarily feel like it was just for when it benefited me. I definitely think that it was just primarily you two that I didn't get to talk to a whole lot. And it wasn't anything personal or game related. I just genuinely was overwhelmed with everything else that I had going on in personal life, that those were just two relationships that I didn't get to invest as much time in as I would have liked to.
Sure. And I mean, like we all know, this is real life too. Like real life comes before a game. So totally understandable. I just wanted to understand your rationale behind that. All right, Eric, we got 2 minutes. So I'm going to literally throw everything at you, start taking notes so you can, no, I'm just kidding. One of the things you said in your opening statement is that you were new, you hadn't played Orgs in a while, didn't know anyone, but then it comes up in the jury round table that you and Stoner have known each other 10 years. And I know Stoner kind of played that off in his, like, when he was talking to people, I don't know anybody on this cast. Why even put that out there knowing that it's going to be told? And then like, what's the strategy behind claiming to be on the bottom, not knowing people, when in fact you're in so many different alliances and successfully maneuvering through them to get information? So I just kind of wanted to understand that.
Yeah, so I mentioned that I hadn't played in a year, and specifically in this community. I did not come into the game knowing a lot of people. I think you, Gluck, and Sonar were the only three people I knew. So I wanted to emphasize that in this game specifically, I didn't know a lot of people, and I've been out of the orgs space for a while, so I'm getting used to being in the online format again. And my alliances and everything I built within the game. I made those relationships and built those connections at the beginning of the game when I talked with people, and that's how I got myself into those alliances. They weren't built completely on pre-existing relationships. My one with Stoner was, but getting into the Live Together Die Alone alliance, I didn't know any of you guys really. We had one conversation, and that was during an interview. So I had to utilize a lot of in-game relationships to solidify myself early on.
All right, and my last question, because I have 20 seconds left. So going into the round, knowing my power, I had to at least be there one more day. I knew that I should not be buying the Aegis the round that Hutch went. And I had quite a bit of money. And for somebody that talked about money, I want to kind of hear your thoughts. If I had saved my money knowing that I was safe, I would have gone in there with like almost $40 and I could have bought the Aegis. So what was your plan moving forward?
If you hadn't gone home the round that you did, or if you had spent...
Yeah, like if I had bought the Aegis and everybody had the votes, that's where I kind of want to know what your next game plan would have been.
With Brandon out of the game because you voted for him, I would have tried to utilize, because Chase told me that he felt really good with you, I would have tried to pin you and Chase versus Stoner and Abby at that point.
Perfect. Thank you. Sorry for going over.
No, you're good. Thank you very much, Kristen. All right. Chase is not here, but I will be playing the part of Chase tonight because he has asked a question. All right. Let's see if I can do this. So Abby, you will go first. I randomized it. Abby, name something the other finalists did better than you and what they failed at over you.
Definitely the fucking quiz. Jesus Christ. Like, for both of us not knowing shit about the show, he studied a lot better than I did. And then something that I did better, I honestly don't know. I feel like I hate questions like that because I don't want to like piss people off. But I feel like in a sense I maybe had aligned myself with more people in the beginning than he did. And yeah, that's what I'm sticking with.
You're muted.
Same
I'm on
question. But I will ask it again. Name something the other finalists did better than you and what they failed at over you.
What Abby did better than me is I think the most important person in terms of their connections within this game and the decision making within this game was Stoner. And she created a better relationship with Stoner than I did. They shared more information with each other. She was in some of his decision making in terms of them being a duo. And so I had to do more to be with Stoner in the late game and to prevent him from voting for me. In terms of what I feel I did better, I hustled more. I talked more with people. I had more social connections. I believe I was aligned with more people in the beginning. I will refute that. And in the end, I hustled more for the quiz, and that's how I won it.
All right, Brandon.
Sup, y'all? Eric, I love the suit, giving Clark Kent vibes. Congrats to both of you on Final Two. You both played great games, and I have a lot of love for both of you. And it really took the 1-2 punch of both of you to get me the fuck out of here. So, mazel tov on that. Oof. So, Eric, I give you huge props for winning the quiz. You went from not knowing who Charlie's brother was or Faraday to winning that quiz. You did that shit, so mazel tov. Abby, I'm very happy to hear you're now watching Lost. You understand we are now going to have to talk about that, so be prepared. Let me get to my questions. Okay. Just to let you know, my vote can go either way. I will intently be listening to these answers as I have been all night. I'm an open-minded person. Okay. Abby, I have a very serious question for you. And it will determine
good God.
whether you get my vote. The night that I went home, you said you would send me $10. And I don't know, maybe there was a miscommunication with production, maybe you fell asleep, but I never got those $10. And I want to know, when will you be sending my $10 and when can I expect them? Thank you.
What is your Cash App, babe? Like, we'll just handle that right now. We can handle that. I swear to God, I got sick at the worst time possible. I was not lying. I was throwing up profusely. So a part of it was because when I had made the decision that I didn't want to send it, and it wasn't just to get you out, but I knew that was a risk that I wanted to take. And two, I was profusely throwing up. So, but I mean, I can Cash App it, Venmo, Facebook Pay, whatever you want, honey. I got you.
I only take cash, so it might be hard. Okay, Eric. So, I am someone who prides myself. I do not take things personally, and I think I proved that in this game because everybody voted for me. Everybody threw my name out there, and I still worked with everyone and said, it's fine. I don't give a shit. But I don't throw this word around often. I will throw around the word jury management. The night that Chase went home, after he went home, you sent me a message. I don't remember the exact words, but the sentiment as I interpreted it was, you fucked me over. I'm now fucked. Tomorrow I'm voting for Stoner. Vote with me or not. I don't care. I didn't hear from you again until 8 o'clock the next night. And the way that conversation went, and I don't think this was your intention, but I'll tell you the way it made me feel. A lot of it felt rude. A lot of it felt very condescending. At one point you said to me, if you don't work with me, that's a bad game move. If you don't tell me I'm the target, that's bad jury management. So, how does that reflect on your jury management?
Yeah. At that point in the game, I felt that our relationship strategically, and I also want to put this, I want to use this as a disclaimer first, actually. I hope all of that comes across as strategic and gameplay only. Like, on a personal note, I love you. Like, I loved our conversations. I love talking about your job, and everything that we talked about. But on a strategic level, I was upset. I was, especially the moment when we were on call at Final Five, and I don't know if this is exactly when it happened, but I was telling you everything that Stoner had told me about what he'd said about you, or what you told him. And I was like, hey, this is my olive branch. I want to work with you. And I saw you go on your phone. And then seconds later, Stoner's coming at me saying, hey, why are you making shit up about me? Hey, let's get on a call. Hey, now, no. This is a confrontation. And so I had to like scramble my brain and go, okay, hi, Stoner. Yes, no, everything's completely fine. And when that happened, I was like, oh my God, so Brandon really does not want to work with me. And after you had voted for Chase instead of Stoner at the Final Five, I was like, I honestly don't know what I can say to him. So I chose the last option I had available, which was just being blunt. Here's what I'm doing. This is how I'm going about the round. I didn't respond to basically anyone that day because I was already studying for the quiz to make sure that I won in the final three. And I didn't want to have any Discord distractions from that. So that was not just you, that was everyone in that final four. Yeah, so that is my rationale behind why I did that.
Yeah, just to be clear, Stoner kind of fucked both of us. I had told him before I spoke to you, I told him and Abby that I was going to tell him I was throwing Abby's name out there because I didn't want to catch votes that night, and I was trying to basically play both sides. I was blowing smoke up your ass. I was never going to vote for Stoner. I knew I'd win the quiz at Final Three, so I thought if I make it to Final Three, I could do whatever I want. But my question really is, so at Final Four, you were trying to get me to vote with you, but you also thought I would win the quiz. So why did you even want me to vote with you at that point? Like, what was your strategy at Final Four? I knew you were going to buy the Aegis. Were you going to go to Rocks?
Yeah, so either my strategy in that Final Four round, this may sound crazy. I don't think it is, given my performance in the Final Three quiz. I would have loved to go head to head against you in that Final Three quiz. I aced the first category. I know because I had conversations with production about the other pictures that they had in category 3. I know I would have aced category 3, and I still had $5 left over. So I was fine going to Final 3 with you. If you had voted for Stoner and it tied between the two of you, I would have either pressured for all three of us to vote Stoner out, or I would have said, hey, you know what? I'm going to take, as John Locke says, a leap of faith and try to get Abby out here, because that's a Final 3 situation where I believe it's in your best interest to take Stoner out over me if you win the quiz. And we had the best chance of winning that quiz. So that was my rationale behind that. Also, Stoner was my bounty. So if I got him out, I got a little bit more money in the Final 3, even if it was like $2. It was every dollar counts in this game.
Fucking wild. I got to rethink some decisions now. Also, the last thing you said to me was, I'll vote for your bounty. You were my bounty. I thought you were being facetious.
Yeah, once you didn't respond, I was like, oh, yep.
Okay, so we only have 2 minutes, so I'm going to ask my last question. Okay, I'm going to ask to Abby first. I want to know about the round and the elimination where you had the most influence in the person going home. That you said, this is my target. I want them to go home, and you made that happen. What was the round? And even if it wasn't necessarily your target, what was the round you had the most influence in the eliminated player going home? I'll start with Abby.
You.
I was going to say you can't say me or Stoner. Sorry.
I don't know. I feel like for the longest time, I just kind of went with other people, especially once it started dying down with me being thrown up so much, I tried to be on the right side of the vote. So, I mean, honestly, aside from you, I would say probably none, just for the simple fact I was just trying to lay low for a little bit after such a rocky phase one.
Okay. And Eric, who was the player you had the most influence in getting out of the game?
Yeah. I think I assume I can't say Stoner because that's the obvious answer.
Nope, not me or Stoner.
Okay. I would say in that case, it's tough between two. I'm going to say Jenny, because we had that conversation and we said Jenny is more likely to slide through the game than Kristen is. And you were in the chat saying, hey guys, I really think we should go for Jenny. And I was having conversations with Stoner. I was having conversations with Abby, I believe, and other people in that chat saying, yeah, I agree. We should get rid of Jenny before we take out Kristen, especially given the fact that she was saying that she had the power to talk to the jury. That was really dangerous for me because I was afraid of Haley telling her information about the Power Rangers or Side Pieces alliances. So that I feel that was the round where I had one of the largest influences.
It's a good answer. I actually brought that up for you at the round table last night. I actually made points for both of you. I think you both played great, James, and but I'd say it before, on a personal level, I have a ton of love for both of you. So I'm very happy to see both of you here. I still don't know who I'm voting for, but great job to both of you. All the best.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Brandon. And I think I just saw that you just got here. Gluck, if you are here, you may come on and ask questions. Was I mistaken?
Gluck is here.
Oh, there's Gluck. All right, bye. Um, okay. You know what? Stoner, why don't you come on and hopefully Gluck can figure out his computer in the next 10 minutes. Okay?
All right, all right.
Hi, my internet's a little bit shit. Oh.
I guess Gluck, is your internet okay at the moment? That's a no. Stoner, okay, Gluck, you can go after Stoner then. I don't know what's happening. Give me start, Stoner.
Oh, all right, man. Oh shit. Power Rangers, baby. Oh, what's up, guys? I'm really happy for you guys. Just some commentary, I guess. I feel like I think you guys have both said in your speeches and a little bit tonight, and at least I feel like me too. I worked very close with both of you guys individually, for a very long portion of the game. Abby, I'll be obviously up to the very end, and Eric, I think probably to around about final six-ish when you're like, all right, Stoney's got to go. But until that, we were kind of, you were kind of telling me everything. I was telling you a lot. We were kind of really ride or dies. Me, you, and me, Abby. I guess I had a lot of ride or dies. I was a snake. Let's be real. Who was it? This game's tough, man. This cast is crazy good. The powers are nuts. It was a good game. Eric, man, I seen you as a kid, dude. You're like 13 years old when I met you, dude, and you have grown, dude. I'm very proud of like the man you become, the person you are, the player you become. I remember watching you 10 years ago, and I'm thinking like, who the fuck is this kid? Like, he just came out of nowhere in my like 42nd season, and like I need him back. And I think about you like 5 times, like he got to come back. And to see you play in live action, it was great. It was amazing. Honestly, I'm very, very grateful to experience with you, and it was so funny. And you're right. You said something earlier that kind of hit me. Was like you were kind of always trying to talk to people, and how I didn't even know it was you until like round 3. And prior to that, we were still connecting real good. And then I'm like, oh my god, it's you? Oh shit, okay. So I'm very happy for that, dude. Abby, cockroach baby. Abby, I think you're kind of. I don't think you're doing a great job at selling some of your moves that I personally feel like I saw tonight, and I'm hoping maybe you can help me with that a little bit, Because the Abby I saw was pushing plays against Hutch when it was just me, you, and Chase. And me and you strategized to use our extra votes, to use my extra votes to go after them and make sure it worked out. That's around the time we formed that three with Chase. We had threes everywhere. I feel like you were a big part of that. The night that Chase went home, we had initially planned a 2-2 vote on Brandon as well to have a backup in case anything went wrong. And then obviously we planned to use your power. And Final Four was big too, where we had the 2-1 with our extra vote. And I'm not hearing you really sell that a lot, and I've had to say to the jury, but like I can only say so much. I need you in the next couple of minutes to like sell those couple of moves, talk about some of the things that me and you did together, because that was not a stoner show. And I know you know that. And I don't know if you're trying to like not step on my toes here tonight, but like I know damn well, like I thought I was gonna lose to both of you if I went to the end. I really do. I truly believe I was getting second no matter who I sat against, either of you guys. So Abby, take a couple minutes to tell me about those moves and anything else that you really want to sell for your game. I want you to own your shit right now, Abby.
Okay, so yeah, the whole Hutch thing. I know at one point, Hutch had said he wanted a final two with me, and I went along with it just because he was so well acquainted with everybody. And I know I had said it in Fallen Comrades, which you guys haven't got to see yet, but there is so much good chaos when it comes to Hutch. And it's one of those where you don't want to be on his bad side. So when we finally found an opportunity to attempt to get him out, that's what we did. And I pushed it. I was like, I don't trust him as much as I would want to, and it's time for him to go. So you did have those extra votes, and I did have my safety power, that you were the only person that you and Brandon were the only ones that knew it. And so I don't know if anybody else had seen, but on that one, Brandon was like, please don't fucking use that. He was not happy that I was using it because that wasn't the plan. But I knew that was our only way to ensure to get Hutch out. And I didn't want him going any further because I felt like from my point of view, he was very back and forth. I would hear one thing and then something else would pop up completely different than what he had said. So hang on, I'm starting my car. So sorry.
The power around the Chase went home. Leave. Your power.
Oh, I can't even.
That's all right. You have anything to say about Final Five?
Can you hear me?
Yeah. Do you have anything else to say about Final Five or Final Four?
So definitely Final Four with Brandon. Originally we were just going because we had the group chat with Brandon, the three of us, but I had told you from early on in the game that I wanted it to be me, you, and Eric sitting in it Final Three, preferably Haley Final Four, but she got cut. So I definitely wanted us three to sit in Final Three, and I told you that sending Brandon home was our best shot that night to get it done. And we came up with a way to get it done by me not sending the money. We had phone calls about it, and then that was just the safest way to get us to where we are now. So.
All right, thank you, Abby. All right, Eric. So Eric, I want to know, I guess, I want to know like if your strategy kind of changed throughout the game. And I know the big part of it was I'm talking to everybody, and I'm kind of flowing information, right? I'll tell people what they want, what I want to hear. And you kind of made it work. I want to know some aggressive things you did. Something like I'm in your face. I think it's just how I'm an in your face player, and I think someone said tonight like we both kind of played not so in your face, which I think is good to get where you're at. But like I want to see something bold. So what's something that you think you did that was kind of bam? I'm Eric motherfucking Henry. Let's go, baby.
I'm so upset about that round when Gluck went home, because that round I was fully prepared. Like if we did not have that scramble moment, that scramble time, I was 100% voting Kristen. And I was so ready for Hutch to find out and for my entire game to just be revealed to that entire side and for me to go head on. I was so ready for it. And when I saw that wave of momentum just like completely disappeared, I was like, oh, okay, so clearly that's not going to work, and I had to change it up. But I was still able to do that 2 rounds later with Amy. It was essentially the same effect. I said, hey, this is an alliance that I've been working with every single round. I went on call with you guys 10 minutes beforehand and even suggested the vote, how we do it, and I voted for one of you. And I think the thing about my game is I can say that. I can go to people and say, and talk with them and then vote them out, and their allies will still want to work with me, right? So I think that's why it doesn't come off as confrontational, because after the aftermath is not as drastic. For example, like Final Five, that was probably my biggest confrontation in the game, was when you came to me and you're like, hey, what are you doing? Like, what's up, man? And there was not really an aftermath to that. Because in that conversation, we talked it out and I explained, yes, I completely went behind your back. I completely did this and it was not beneficial to you, but here's how it can help both of us. And at that elimination ceremony, I didn't receive any votes. So I think my game was more confrontational than it first appears. You don't see it because you don't see like the counts, like, oh my God, this number of houses were destroyed by the tsunami, and the restaurants had to close and all that kind of, like, everything is still business as normal in the town. There was just a little casualty in the water.
All right, thanks, Eric. All right, last question for some fun. You got 30 seconds. Eric, you're gonna start. All right, you're taking me out somewhere nice, and we're going on a nice little date. What's our night looking like? Tell me, go. 30 seconds.
Ooh, okay. So in Richmond, there is a restaurant called PBR, Pizza and Beer of Richmond. They have a lovely selection of cocktails and beers and whatever you'd like to have there, as well as pizza. And they have everything that you could ever want, including vegetarian pizza. It's one of my favorite places to go. You can sit at the bar and chill. You can sit in a booth. You can sit outside in their tent. I absolutely love it. So I always love suggesting that as a first date idea.
All right. Thank you, Eric. All right, Abby, you still here? You got.
I am here.
Stay out. Where are we going?
Okay, so I actually just passed it, and so that was really good time for you to ask this. We have this cute little like putt-putt place in our hometown with like corn mazes and like all this shit. So in true stoner fashion, we get stoned before we go, and we go play putt-putt and have a time with it.
All right, guys. I'm proud of you guys. Like, Jason, you're so loud snoring. I'm proud of you guys, honestly. Like, y'all killed this game. Very happy that I was on Final 3 with you guys. And that was a tough quiz. 63 questions, I think y'all made it to. And y'all never seen the show. Good job, guys. Good job.
All right. Gluck, close us out.
Oh, who would have thought that I, the individual who voted alone against the masses, would be closing you out tonight? Hello, it is me from the other side. I have paid zero attention to this roundtable endgame, and I'm not wearing socks right now, but pretend I am, knock them off, make me take off my clothes, and I'll send my vote your way. What can you do for me to blow my mind? Abby, ladies first. What do you got for me?
So we are talking game related, right?
I don't know, are we? It's up to interpretation.
Well, okay, I'm just going to start off by saying I'm a little ticked that you didn't get to meet my husband in Vegas, because when I tell you that the man was up $3,000 and then fucking lost it all, I'm a little upset with you. We could have been rich. But on game related, I will just tell you that the night you went home, one, I really wasn't expecting you to go. Even though we knew it was a risk when you made the group chat that you did, I absolutely loved getting to know you so much. And so it was really frustrating that it turned out the way that it did. I admired your determination to get the damn thing done. You worked your ass off to do it, and with not a lot of time because it kind of was just thrown together and we tried to make it work. The boiling down to it, I just had a gut feeling that it wasn't going to work. And that's why I wanted to scramble. I wanted to throw my votes on Brandon. So, because one, I had been doing it anyway, and I knew that I could walk away from that scenario no matter how it ended with the least amount of blood on my hands with it. So I threw my vote to Brandon because that was kind of obvious. I knew Hutch had the book. I knew who would see, like, he could see who I voted. And if the vote didn't go the way that we wanted it to, I did not want it to get back to anybody else that I had voted Kristen if she had not gone. So I was comfortable and safe with the fact that one, if Kristen didn't go, I didn't know who the fuck was going to go because I was kind of out of the loop with it. I feel like there was so much chaos inside of the group with people talking to other people that we didn't have a solidified plan, even though we had a goal and a target. But it seemed like everybody was kind of iffy and wishy-washy about it. So I just went with my gut, voted Brandon because I knew that if Hutch went back and told him, Brandon would be like, I expected nothing less. So that's kind of my view on that night because obviously I haven't been able to talk to you about it and I hated to watch you go. Because your pure determination to get her out that night was 10 out of 10. You wanted the thing done, and I think if we could have had a more solidified group prior to the vote and not hours before, it may have been able to be done. And that would have been a really big move for you. But at the end of the day, I think that everybody was just kind of associated with other people and we just weren't solid enough to get it done. So.
Well, your husband may have lost in Vegas, but at least you got my bounty. So you made money regardless. Eric, over to you, man. I have met you in the past. I don't know if you relayed that information to people. While it was a brief in real life meeting, it was still fun to see you here. And over to you. Knock my socks off.
Yeah, I mean, given the fact that you're like, the rest of the game is whatever. I love the time that I was in the game. Let's talk about the time that you were in the game. Those first 3 rounds, I talk about, balancing acts and having these alliances and everything, and the information that I gathered. I want you to know you are absolutely one of the people that I was closest to. I think in my trust rankings, it was Stoner and then it was you. And to the point where I knew things like you were in the 6-person alliance that Brandon had made, and you didn't tell me about it, but I was like, I still love Gluck so much. I really want to work with him. I'm still going to talk to him about Gangrave Kristen. And you know what? I became your biggest supporter that round. I was going to everybody and I was like, girls, we can get this together. We can get her out of this game right now. And I had all of those private conversations. Even like in the aftermath of that episode, I was like, I'm so confused. I don't understand where the votes weren't coming from. I feel we absolutely could have done it. And you've also, in terms of the rest of the game, you've seen me in person, in action, making alliances, talking with people, having a good social game, and winning. And none of that information, to my knowledge, was relayed to the rest of the cast. Nobody knew about my connection with you. Nobody knew about my connection with Stoner during the game. That was in a game where all of this information, like you targeted Kristen specifically because of the meetups she had down in Florida with Jenny and how she knew Amy prior. None of that information came out until tonight, until we reveal it. And I think that's a testament to my loyalty to you and how much I wanted to work with you and how much you were a part of my game.
Well, right on to that. I'm going to pretend that you were both heartbroken, crushed, didn't want to move forward in the game without me after my untimely demise. And you've cried every night since. And I hope you're both doing okay. I'm here now. It's okay, friends. Don't panic. I don't know who I'm voting for. I'm going to listen to your closing statements if that's happening. I have another 4 minutes that I could use and talk more about myself, but this is about you two. I'm very happy for you. I can't wait to see who wins this thing, and I'm wishing you the best of luck. All right, good luck, guys.
All right, thank you, Gluck. 10 minutes each, up to 10 minutes for closing speeches. I have randomized it. Eric, you will be going first. Your time starts now.
Okay. In this game, this game is all about Lost. Let's bring it back to Lost. You know what I mean? In this game, if you're looking at season 1, because that's around the amount of episode summaries that I read in preparation for the quiz for the category 4, I would compare my game to John Locke. I was exactly what you needed when you needed me to be it. I came to you, said, oh my God, who are you voting out? Who do you want out? Who is your target? We will make it work. And, just like Locke, he reunited his son and Walt and Michael. He helped Charlie with his drug problem. He helped Boone get over Shannon. Like, all of these things. He's a very helpful force in season 1, and I know that changes throughout the rest of the series, but that was who I was. I always worked with whoever needed the help at that moment and who could help me, so that it wasn't just me taking. It was reciprocal. And I worked with most everybody in the game that way to help the better good, to help the island, to get myself here. And I believe that is the reason that you should vote for me, is because I had those social connections with you guys. Game related, not game related. I have enjoyed most every single conversation that I've had with you guys. I can even recall my conversation with Lenny, where we talked about how tired she was and how she lives in Mountain Standard Time. And it wasn't a long conversation, but it stood out to me because it was so bizarre. And I have one of those for every one of you, and those who have asked, I have those. And even strategically, so personal facts, I know information about all of you guys, but also strategically, I was never closed off to any person in this game. I was always open to working with everybody, and that's why I did. And that's how I was able to move myself forward, even in situations where I'm completely left out of the vote and it looks like I have nowhere to go, or I'm just stuck in a corner. I said, you know what, let me reach around and find somebody else so that we can share information, so that we can have that relationship. And in the end, that the person that I needed to help the most was myself. In the final 4, I started studying for that quiz like crazy. Like, I ended up memorizing every single episode title. I made like 200 flashcards of quotes and analyzing, like, okay, so these are the kinds of things that I can pick out from this character, so I know like generally what kind of quotes they would say. And I did that for most of the characters. I had over 180 photos from the Lostpedia website with the names of the people next to them, so I could say, Rosie, you don't have a last name, but I know you. I know you're in this like camp background. Like, I know who you are, girl. And that's how I got those questions correct, and that's how I got myself here. I thank you all so much for an amazing season. I've told production this has probably been the most fun that I've had in an org. I've only done 4 on-camera ones, and this is by far my favorite. I have done other ones in the past, of course, Kristen, but this one is definitely a memorable experience, especially with this format, having to come into it, having these 2 really goofy powers where like my extra votes in round 1 were just like randomly tossed on people that I felt could be targets in the following round. In round 2, managing to get $12 from somebody was crazy. I thought my power was just going to be dead for all of phase 2. So it was an honor to play with you guys. I also want to give a shout out to my prod guests. They helped me in studying for the quiz. They helped me with some of my strategy talks. Sometimes they just held my hand and were there for me when I needed a moment. Also for production, I already told you guys I love you guys and how much it means to me that I was invited for this, but I also love you guys as well. Yeah, thank you guys for an amazing season, and best of luck when you're voting.
Oh, Is it gonna work? All right, Abby, 10 minutes on the clock. You may begin.
Okay, I want to start off saying I love all of you so much. This, as you guys had heard in my opening speech, this was my second time playing, and I will tell you, as a returnee, this season was so much harder than the first season I played. This season kicked my ass. It drained me. I feel like I've been in this game for far longer than just a couple weeks. It has been a lot. So I mean, for those who have returned and for those this is your first time playing, you know how hard this game is and how time consuming it is. And I've made it to second place twice. Or not second place, God, not me foreshadowing shit. Ew. But I've made it to final two twice, and it's not an easy task. It is hard. It is hard as hell to try to make time outside of personal life to keep and maintain social relationships, which I wasn't the best at, but I tried my hardest. In phase 1, I had an L5 power. In phase 2, I had an L5 power. And I feel like I played them the way that I needed to. I managed my money the way that I needed to. Sorry, I'm parking and it's a very tight space. I'm parked now, so I can clearly think. Yeah, this game is hard, and I feel like, with the social strategy of it, I aligned myself, like I've said before, with people that I knew would help me. I had people that I wasn't necessarily working with giving me information. I knew about the alliance chat that was made on day 1 almost immediately. I knew about other alliance chats that nobody else had told me about, but I knew. And, with Amy especially, I love and adore her. She fed me information that she didn't have to. But she did, and we weren't necessarily working together. We bounced ideas off of each other. From day 1, I had my ride or die. I had Stoner, and everything I knew, he knew, and vice versa. And so, although I may not have been overly open with other people, I had Stoner to rely on. And considering that I only had one major ride or die, I made it to final 2. I, was pushing Hutch. I pushed Brandon. Both of them got out. And there were a few times that I was blindsided with the Haley vote, with Chase going. I was blindsided by those, but that's all right because, like I said in my opening speech, at the end of the day, if you want to get to where I am, eventually those people are going to have to go anyway. So not everything went the way that I would have realistically wanted, but it still led me to be here in final 2 for a second time. And that's a really hard accomplishment to have. So if you don't vote for me tonight, I can at least walk away with the accomplishment of making it to final 2 twice. And it's not easy. It is so incredibly hard. I've made new friendships with this game because I absolutely want to keep and maintain friendships with you outside of this game. Especially, I want to go to Vegas with Gluck, and I've got new Lost information to talk over with Brandon, and a Michael Myers convention with Kristen, preferably. That would be extremely fun. And Amy, learning, as I go through my degree, like having her there. Eric, our common love for Miss Rachel Roth. So, I mean, at the end of the day, I can only say so much about my game. I've tried. I'm a little frazzled just from today's events, so I've tried my best, but I'm running around like a chicken with its head cut off. So at the end of the day, I love all of you so much. I'm so appreciative that I got to come back for a second time and give this game my all. And, I really hope that you vote for me tonight just because it would be really cool to win after playing for a second time and making it this far again. So, yeah, Prod, you're great. I love you guys so much. You guys are the best, and I love this game. 10 out of 10 would recommend. So yeah, thanks.
All right. Thank you very much. That is the end of the questioning. Here's how this will work. Sorry, I'm getting some echo. Laugh Out Louders, you may come on camera. Anybody that wants to mess with the Laugh Out Louders, you may come on camera. Basically, the only people actually playing are Megan, Paige, Kevin, and Haley. But you can make them laugh and ruin their night and make them lose. As far as the jury and how you'll be voting, there is a breakout room. I am about to send Esteban. Wait, where's Esteban now? Esteban, there.
Yes, I'm here.
Wait, did that work? Uh-oh. Okay. Give me 1 second. I'm making sure Esteban's recording. Recording. And we'll send jurors there one by one. I will. Can I open the chat? Where's my chat button? Okay, cool. I will post in the chat who wants to vote. First person to respond, I will send off to go vote. He's just going to ask you who you're voting for and why, and then you can leave and come back here. Laugh Out Louders, you may begin.
So I've been trying to paint my nails for my tiny hands, and it's going to shock you. It's not buffed up enough. But I thought I would begin by telling you all how, as many of you know, my husband got a vasectomy on his own birthday. Amazing gentleman. And I wanted to read out some of the names we would have used if we had decided to have children. Number 1 is Brunsworth Hollywagon, Tibula Phenotype, Frugal McDougal, Hutch.
Thank God you weren't allowed to have kids.
Not Hutch.
Well, that was fucking simple and easy. Goddamn,
dumb fuck.
You're
You could still stay on camera though, so I can look
Chris
at you.
Stoner was also on that list. I'll have
You
everyone
can still
know.
fuck with us if you want. LOL guys, I had a busy day, so I'm really sorry I've not had time to eat dinner. So I'm gonna have a snack while we're doing this, so please just don't mind me. I'm really gonna try to multitask here, okay? So
I'm having candy, so you're good, boo.
I've got yogurt, so that's what I'm gonna eat tonight.
Hey, my Asian friend Peter, he recently came into touch with who he was, and his new pronouns are yeah. Fuck.
We had enough women jokes last season. We don't need racial jokes this season.
It's not racial.
Fuck.
Megan already did that.
What?
Nothing. I said Megan already did that.
Megan, clean your face right now.
Megan, you've got
Come on
some
now,
white
Megan.
stuff on your chin.
Come on, get it together.
I'm sorry, I'm just really hungry. I need to have a snack. I'm just
I did look up some dirty jokes. Hold on.
I've got a friendship bracelet on my. This is so much more me. I'm so happy with this.
Wait, so we said a toaster joke last season. I have to do it again. Paige, what did the toaster say to the slice of bread? I want you inside me.
I think I've gotten out just from toast before, like just the mention
I
of
don't think that
toast.
counts since she already is out.
No,
but I
I'm
mean,
already out.
I know. Fuck.
Can we just say I'm shocked I'm even here? I give all of y'all your points.
I mean, I guess that's not really a point for anybody. But you're out of the competition, so.
What's the difference between kinky and perverted? Kinky is when you tickle your girlfriend with a feather. Perverted is when you use the whole bird.
Kinky is Haley and perverted is Kevin. Haley, I thought of you the other day actually on specifically what Thursday, the February 15th. Because Thursday was the 8-year anniversary of the day that I got impregnated. So shout out to my dead baby. Fun times.
Does anyone want to
Are
hear
you
a
gonna
joke?
say because Haley looks like a dead baby?
Oh my god!
I
what
thought
the
you were
fuck?
going to say because Haley looks
That is
like
rude.
5, which is how old the child would be.
The child would be like 8 because it was 8 years ago, but you know, we're good at math, Paige. It's fine.
What comes after
I've never
69?
claimed to be good at
Mouthwash.
that.
Why would you do that? You don't need mouthwash. Just take it like a
That's
boss.
the joke that I'm reading.
No,
I don't know.
No, you savor that flavor. You savor that flavor.
Does anyone want to hear a joke?
You
I do,
gurgle,
Glock. I
you
wanna hear.
gurgle the jizz in your mouth after.
Is it
after
racist?
suck a dick. You're just.
No, it's not racist.
Then I'm not interested. No, I'm kidding. Tell us your joke.
I'd be like, oh my god.
My life. I didn't say it would be a funny joke.
I miss you.
Give it to me. Give it to me. She yelled.
Oh,
I'm so
his
wet.
house.
Give it to me now. She could scream all she wanted, but I was keeping the umbrella.
I gave up on the spoon. It was falling all over. I don't know if you guys can see what my setup.
How can
Come
you tell
on,
if your
this is
husband
so
is drugs?
cute. I
Are
think
those
we need
drugs?
to.
Drugs?
Megan, are you doing drugs?
I don't know. Do you want
Is
me
that
to try to
weed?
snort this yogurt and chocolate chip? I feel like that might hurt.
Wait, I have an important question. How can you tell if your husband is dead? The sex is the same, but you get to use the remote.
Remote the TV? That don't make no fucking sense.
Okay, I only know one joke, and I've been waiting all season to tell it. Okay, right. So a pirate walks into a bar with a steering wheel in his pants. Bartender says, "Doesn't that bother you?" Pirate says, "Arg, it's driving me nuts."
Oh my god, she said that
I love
last
that
season.
joke. I
You
really
said
was
that
going.
really fast that I didn't even hear what you said. I'm not
I
processing.
was about to interrupt and ruin the ending, which is one of my
My
favorite
favorite
things to
joke
do
of
when
all
people
time.
tell jokes. My favorite joke of all time is what's the difference between a lobster with breast implants and a dirty bus stop? One's a crusty bus station, the other is a busty crustacean. You're welcome.
That is so funny that no one laughed.
It's so fucking
Alright.
funny. It's the funniest thing I've ever heard. I love a spoonerism.
I just choked.
What do tofu
I
and
literally
dildos
told
have
that
in
joke in my
common?
Survivor audition. I did not get a call back.
As you shouldn't.
What do tofu and dildos have in common? They are both meat substitutes.
I feel
You've
dead
got to give me a
inside.
second to guess. Like, I'd rather this be a
No
riddle
one's giving you
than
a second.
joke,
You wouldn't have
Haley.
guessed it anyway, so it's fine.
Speaking of dildos, we're kind of in the
Haley,
same
make
vein
you
as
laugh.
dildos.
Make you laugh. Can you laugh? Can I make you laugh?
I hate you.
Haley, I was just about to talk about you because I
Do I get a
found
point?
your
She
crusty ass
laughed.
rose vibrator that you never wash. You left it at my house when we were hanging out. So you
Better than Kevin not washing
Is
his
this back
sheets.
to this the dirty hippie joke?
Okay, that's the one I always
Yes.
get ads for. What's your review?
Review is amazing and it's better than a man. Sorry, Jeremy.
I'm a
Is it
pretty
better than a
clean
woman though?
What does one saggy boob say to the other saggy boob? If we don't get some support, people will think we're nuts.
Haley,
Haley,
is this really what you have for the final EC? All you have is fucking jokes that you found online?
Haley, I was about to
Bro,
guess that. I was about to guess the answer, but it's
Yeah,
okay.
Haley, it would be better if you left room for us to like potentially
That
answer.
ruins it, man.
It would also be
Because if you did it
helpful if you were
right, then,
funny
like-
at all.
Yeah.
It would also
Okay.
help if you didn't call me a dead baby.
Here's the
Kevin, are you even doing anything? Like, do you even care about winning?
No, he doesn't.
I-
Why'd you have to mention that? Let him be distracted.
Oh, Paige's hands are cute.
Aren't they so cute? I think we
I
all
love
should
the way-
customize our hands next season.
No
I'm gonna
thanks.
put my winners.
Did you make a bracelet that says lost or power grab?
No, I'm not that clever.
Lame.
I actually thought about this about 6 seconds ago. So this one is from the Taylor Swift concert, and it says "My mind is alive," which is a banana inside joke. And then
Oh,
this
it
one
is.
says AMC, which is from the Taylor Swift movie, which I went to the premiere for and had a panic attack and left early. So
Oh my god, you're so cool, Paige.
for having panic attacks, no, it's actually debilitating.
Haley, you're a
Very
mom.
Paige though.
What'd you say, Kevin?
You said panic
Still on
attacks,
the regular.
and I said it's very Paige though.
It is.
Oh,
it's
it's
true.
Justin Bieber.
Haley, I feel like that counted as a laugh.
Oh,
Wait,
Haley was something like
Haley.
this.
always be mine.
It's
It's
Haley
finally
Allen.
the final.
It's Haley
like,
a flop.
whatever.
Haley's
Haley's
gonna
always gonna
just like
flop.
you
too.
I'm
I'm a flop in power grab.
When does the comedy start? I'm waiting.
Never. We're
I
not
mean, you
funny
could, like,
people.
help
When I
if you
beat your
wanted
ass
to
outside of a Whole
laugh.
Foods.
Gluck, whenever you become funny.
Who are you fucking talking to right now?
Thank
Do you
you.
even know who I
See, Abby
am?
That's
agrees
not
with
funny.
me.
Abby, you
You
said
want
you're
to
gonna
see
make
her
me laugh.
hair?
Practically,
That
I
isn't funny.
do.
I just
I
ate
wanna-
a
You
dog
know what
hair.
is funny? I wrote all of my future children's names on the back of a vote for Brandon.
No.
I think I want to fight all of you but Owen.
That Brandon 17.
I just choked again. Fuck.
On
This
your
is
yogurt
not
drugs?
going well.
What's in your mouth, Megan? What's in your mouth?
A
What
woman
isn't
walks
in
out
her
of the
mouth?
bathroom, winks at her husband, and
Didn't
says,
you guys
"I
know that
shaved
I
down
gave
there."
Jeremy a BJ while the final EC was going on? I mean, that's why he was like off camera the whole time.
The joke is ass, anyways.
That's my worst nightmare.
My ass is
Truly.
amazing. Speaking of ass. Would this video get flagged if I showed my ass?
Do not do that.
Do it.
I'll show my ass. I don't care.
Yeah,
Is
so what
Jeremy
if I
trying to
show
tell
mine?
you what you can do with your body?
Yeah, how fucking dare he?
I'm
That's what we
trying to
had a-
tell her what she can do with my recording.
How fucking dare you, you misogynist piece of shit?
I'm gonna show my ass.
Do it.
No, why is everyone looking? You freaks.
I
Have a
really,
break.
so
I
I
never
am
claimed I
weird
wasn't.
shit. Y'all, look, we've finished the Survivor Fantasy League logo.
I think it's
Dun,
ugly.
dun, dun, dun,
I hope I
dun.
win.
And I really want to embroider the back of my jeans, like the back of my jean pocket, to just say "Stop staring at my ass." I
That's
think it'd
cute.
be
That would make
very
me stare at your ass more. I'm not gonna lie.
It's a good bit because it's like drawing attention to your ass, you know, and then it's
Taking control of your body, you know, just like you want, make people look and say, yeah, I want you to look, bitch.
no, it's say, "Hey, look," and then saying, "Why are you looking, you perv?"
Well, we're talking about
You're trying to
inappropriate
steal my
things.
fucking idea, you unoriginal piece of shit.
Kevin, what were you gonna say?
I was gonna say while we're talking about inappropriate things, I was gonna say during the questioning portion when Stoner asked about going on a date, I was like, oh, I would take him to a fancy restaurant, but I would eat nothing but ice water because I'm the bottom of the situation.
A lot
Just
of
in
people
that
wouldn't get that
situation?
joke, Kevin. A lot of people wouldn't get that joke. That was really bad.
It's a gay sex joke, is what it is.
Where I'm aware,
No, we caught
but
that.
you know, there's some people here I think who aren't gay.
I don't know.
Don't
what
attack the
that's
gays.
like.
You already learned about that. Don't attack the gays.
Yeah, don't attack the gays or they'll cut you at Final Four.
Who still hasn't laughed?
Me, Kevin, and Haley have not laughed.
I thought Haley did laugh. I
Did
thought all I
Haley
had to
laugh?
do at
Is
this
Haley
point.
out? Is it
Hey,
me?
No, I
I
thought-
did not laugh. And Kevin, you haven't even been here. You've been like non-existent, just like the first time you played Power Grab.
Ooh.
I dropped chocolate chips.
I mean, it was still
Haley
on
did
Skype at that
definitely
point.
smile.
No, I did
Haley,
not. When did I
Haley
smile?
also did this nonsense, which totally doesn't count, where she went,
Bro, that's what Kevin does all the time. Kevin does that. I was doing that on purpose.
yeah,
When
don't,
Kevin
Kevin's
makes
yeah,
someone
about to
laugh.
smile, he goes,
yeah, it's
Yeah.
dumb.
Go.
Like
I
I'm
almost
not
made Kevin laugh. I
inauthentic.
almost made Kevin laugh
Like,
earlier.
that was also
here's what you
Kevin
can say.
last night.
I get out early, but I'm not like inauthentic, you know? Like y'all
I
are
appreciate,
inauthentic.
Megan, that you think that I still get that much action.
Yeah, that's because you're old. Your balls are like
It's true. You can see my gray hairs right here. I am.
wrinkly balls.
I mean, to be fair, we all do. That's how they come.
Bitch, I don't have balls.
I mean, all of us assigned male at birth do.
You don't know if I was assigned male at birth. How dare you assume my gender?
All right, fair. Didn't we
How did,
say?
how did the time just go up? It was 9 and now it's 12.
Because they're taking forever to vote because they all suck as players.
It's counting upwards, not down.
Oh.
Can we talk
Owen,
about
are
how
you having
pale I
fun?
am in
We knew this
comparison to
already.
these hands?
Brilliant.
What's your skin tone compared to these hands?
Your skin is red as fuck, and the
It's really
skin
not.
perfect.
These
So-
hands are.
Like, why is this so yellow? Here, wait. We'll make this
Because you're
more
so fucking
luxurious.
white. I don't know.
No, that didn't make it any better. We did a 23andMe, and I'm literally 96% British, which is not even fun white. Like, not Italian, not like
Find fun
Swede-
white because I'm pretty sure all whites suck ass.
Swedish, Norwegian. Like, at least it's more interesting. It's like, oh, I have heritage and dishes. No, we have like friggin' jacket potatoes and
White
Brown sauce.
Boxing Day.
consists of cake stands and reality competition shows like Survivor. That is white culture.
Why did Jesus die a virgin? Every single wound he touched closed up.
That's just objectively untrue.
So a vagina.
Why
is-
make that joke in front of a religion major? Jesus,
He
like,
totally could have done butt stuff then.
there's also like
Jesus
you're-
was gay.
Why
Jesus
are you
is
saying
gay
that?
confirmed.
Why aren't you saying that why are you saying a vagina is a wound? That's not a
Because
wound.
it bleeds.
It doesn't make it a wound. I mean, he healed hemorrhaging, but hemorrhaging is very different than like menstrual blood.
Wound.
Wound is
No, you're
objectively
fine.
a funny thing to say.
Also, if that were the case, then how would he have been born? He was in a uterus.
He wasn't baptized yet.
That's not how that works. God, yeah, y'all
fucking
can't
have
make
to talk
religion
about
jokes
religion.
that aren't theologically accurate. Just
I
you know.
don't think Jesus is funny. I'm sorry. R.I.P. Jesus, but you're not fucking funny.
I think
The
Jesus
only
is
funny
hilarious.
part about
He
Jesus
one time
is
called a
that
woman
he
a
literally
dog.
got nailed to a cross because objectively violence is funny. So
Just
I was
quick
sure-
question. Lawrence, do you want to go to the voting booth or no?
fuck.
Can you hear me, Lawrence? I'm gonna take this as a no.
I wish Veronica was here because she would make me laugh.
This yogurt
I'm
is
so
She would
glad
make
she's
me laugh
there.
too.
I
Unlike
have
the rest of you.
nightmares. I have nightmares
think I'm
about
gonna-
having
Doesn't
to
she wants
defend.
homeless people that pee in your eyes, doesn't she?
That was funny.
I have
feel like
nightmares of having to defend Ashley.
who?
Exactly.
I
I
feel
like
like
that.
in the
Me
eye
or
would be
Jennifer?
like medicinal for some reason. Like I
I
feel
like that I encourage so much tiny hands, and also that Megan and I both thought to eat with tiny hands tonight.
you literally didn't think about it until like I was fucking doing it. So way to cheat.
I had to
Megan,
teach out the whole FTC.
Evan created little hands, just saying.
It's not little hands, it's tiny hands.
Tiny hands.
And Kevin's fantasy league name is Tiny Hands Big Wins, which is great. And Megan's fantasy league is making me have to create a separate chart for the 8-year-old who's going to be in our league.
You're a monster, Megan.
Why is there an 8-year-old?
Because it's my cousin's son and he's like very cute and he loves Survivor. He literally the other day said, told his mom, he was like, "Hey mom, you know what I'm thinking about?" And she was like, "What?" And he was like, "I'm thinking of a name that starts with a B. You know who?" And she was like, "Who?" And he was like, "Bruce from Survivor." Like just like out of nowhere. Like this. I have to have him in my league. But Megan's team name is Serving Cunt, which I don't think would be appropriate for an 8-year-old to potentially be exposed to.
Just change it to serving coconuts. It'll seem like
I mean, I'm
dinner.
always serving cunt, so pussy,
oh,
pussy, cunt, cunt.
We all know what coconut.
What'd you say, Stoner?
Oh, Kevin said change it to coconuts. I was like, oh, well, everyone will know that coconut means cunt.
Yeah, serving coconuts.
Serving and then C and then asterisk, asterisk, asterisk.
Serving coconuts.
Kevin, what do you do when your cat's dead? Play with your neighbor's pussy instead.
Bestiality.
That's not even a joke. Like
I know.
That's not funny. I've had many pets die. God.
But have you had a baby die? No, I think I'm unique in that aspect.
Hey, I took Plan B.
You think I'm gonna laugh again at your baby dying? Like, that was a one-type deal, sweetheart.
It could happen again.
I feel like I should clarify too. I absolutely would kill my baby just to compete with Megan.
As a bit.
Okay, that's a thing. a
Laugh
challenge.
out louders. You have 3 minutes to make each other laugh, and then the game is over.
Next season,
gonna
you
go
should
pee.
change it to COL so you can make each other cry. That'd be better for ratings, honestly.
I would cry.
I think
Look,
we're
the
on Devin's
players do
side
that
and that we
enough.
don't cry, so.
Who the fuck just said my name?
I said, Gluck, the players do that enough to each other. We're playing the COL while they play the LOL.
Look, I say your name whenever I'm giving Jeremy a blowjob.
Well, get my name out of your mouth. Jesus Christ.
It can be your dick instead of Jeremy's if you want.
Can we call Jeremy's dick Gluck for the rest of our lives now?
I think so. I think.
I'm not signing off on this. It's copyrighted and trademarked. You can't do that shit to me.
Jeremy, I want
respect
your
my
Gluck
authority.
tonight.
Are we all gonna take turns power grabbing Gluck?
I mean,
Power
I
Wait,
have
we
one-
already had that happen to
pussy.
him already.
Owen, when are you ever gonna play Power Grab since you've never played before?
I've never once played power grab, and I never will.
He's a fucking
Mm.
lying ass bitch.
Owen created Power Grab actually.
Did you know that he won though?
Birthed it from his man womb.
His wound. His
Yeah.
wound.
My munt.
And wound.
Owen is the godfather.
Munt.
Yeah,
Really.
I'm serving
God
munt.
daddy, really.
Bunt. Serving bunt.
What are the 3 shortest words in the English language? Is it in?
Bunt.
A.
I'm pretty sure.
Stoner, if I were to go on a date with you, it would be something that involves you not having a shirt on, so I can look at them nipple tats all day.
I will pass.
You're not invited.
Um,
Not anymore. It's just me and
The
Owen.
first time, so when I met Stoner years ago and I saw a picture of him, I was like, does he have like really giant pepperoni nipples? What's happening here?
Maybe
And then-
he got the nipple tats to cover up the pepperoni nipples because he was insecure. Why don't we ask Haley if that's true or not?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, everyone knows. Oh yeah, me and Haley dated.
What's the question?
Did Stoner get the nipple tats to hide his insecurity of his like salami nipples? And
Oh,
and
no,
the
he had
second
them
follow-up
tatted
question
when
is,
we were
did you like
dating.
his salami nipples?
Wait,
They
is
were
Stoner
already
the new
tatted when we
baloney
started to
barb?
date.
Did Stoner buy you the rose vibrator?
I did not.
Compare Stoner to the Rose Vibrator.
Yeah, I guess so.
Yeah, which one's better?
Yes, they dated. Good luck.
There's got to be some
That's
like.
the tea.
All right. Owen, who is our laugh
Saved
out
by the
loud
bell.
champion for the season?
Okay, well, so I mean, Paige got herself out.
Okay.
Nobody
And then
makes me laugh like me.
Did anybody else get anybody out?
No.
Haley.
Okay,
Nipple-
so who was more active between Megan and
I thought I
Haley?
got Haley G out. Or does not count.
Haley G wasn't
No.
playing though. You can only get out the other players.
Mm.
Who was more active? I don't
Who
know.
was
there-
more actively trying to make people laugh between Megan and Haley? That person is the winner.
I would
Oh.
say Megan.
Yeah.
Sorry, Haley.
Let's fucking
Bro,
go.
I
Congratulations,
there was like a first
Megan,
half
you
where like
have
she
won
wasn't. There was like a
laugh
first
out.
half where she wasn't, and then I was. But go off.
Let's go. Okay, I need to go do a challenge. Bye.
You
Love
you
guys.
got your win, Haley. No, we're spreading the love.
Yeah, I've already won before.
Haley,
All
I
right.
wouldn't- Oh yeah.
Probably more important, would everybody like to see the final vote? Prod off camera,
Nah.
final 2, and jurors, you may come on camera. I should figure out a way to focus this. Oh. All right. 17 days of game have come down to this. There are 11 votes, I promise. And we will start tallying them now. First vote, Abby. Second vote, Abby. Next vote, Eric. Next vote, Eric. Fifth vote, Eric. Sixth vote, Eric. Seventh vote, Eric. That is 5 votes, Eric, 2 votes, Abby. Next vote, Abby. Next vote, Abby. Next vote, Abby. 5 votes Eric, 5 votes Abby, 1 vote left. The winner of Power Grab Season 7, Lost, Science versus Faith, is Eric. Congratulations, Eric. You have won. The floor is yours. What do you have to say?
Oh, Abby, you gave me a run for my money. Oh my God. Thank you all so much. Again, I want to thank my prod guests so much. Ben helped me so much with my speech today and with coming up with jury questions for preparing for this. Jodie was not in my prod chat, but he also helped me with studying for the quiz and for preparing for my speech and everything. Everybody here, oh my God. This season has been absolutely crazy. I'm sure that I made a fool of myself more than once with many and many of you, but I really appreciate the win, guys. Even if you didn't vote for me, Abby is a very deserving finalist as well. And yeah, that's all I have to say. Thank you.
All right. Thank you very much. We will do a reunion. We'll do it on a new Zoom. I'll send it in 5 minutes or so. Everybody can go to the bathroom, whatever you got to do.
Stick around because this hot girl is going to be hosting.
Paige will be hosting. And for those that will not join us during the reunion, stay tuned for February 29th when we will begin Season 8. Pokemon, Evolution of Champions, something like that is the theme.
We also have awards to give out. So
Yes,
that's
we
a
have
good reason to stick
awards
around.
for the reunion as well. But we will kill this recording and we will see you in about 5 minutes for those of you who would like to attend.